Hi everyone, and welcome to Jet in Airways, where a smile goes a long way. Now if you enjoyed the video today, feel free to give us a thumbs up, a like, or hit subscribe, or make a comment. And of course you're welcome to join our Discord, where we have regular meetups and group flights. Boy, am I chocker. I've just had the hugest breakfast you could ever think of. It's a lovely day here at Palm Springs, and I had a little bit of time, so I ducked into the cafe over there. Just over there, under these tents or these big umbrella things, there are chairs and tables, and they serve the most amazing breakfast you could ever imagine. The Palmer's breakfast, they call it. In New Zealand, we call it the big Kiwi breakfast. But it is bacon and eggs, sausages, hash browns, toast, mushrooms, fried bananas. It is the works, and it is the best. Out of all the routes we do for Jet in Airways, the Palm Springs breakfast is the best. Not to mention the beautiful fresh cappuccino coffees that they make. Now, my last short regional trip in the ATR seemed to be pretty popular, so I thought I'd better get on and get started on stage 2. I've called the series the ATR Made Easy, and because it is not a tutorial, I'm just showing you the way I do it. I do it very, very easily and simply, and if you just want to get from A to B in the ATR, and then maybe later on in your career get more deeper into the systems and the correct way of doing things, then just follow along with me, because that's what I'm going to do. Keep it simple, and then later on I will get more technical. But at the moment we're just keeping it easy and getting from A to B. Remember, it's not a tutorial, so don't complain if I do anything wrong. I'm just showing you how I do it the easy way. Now, I did a bit of an abbreviated video on the last one. I didn't show you everything that I did. So today I'm going to try and do that and show you everything that I do to get flying up and flying in the ATR easy and as simply as I can. So the first thing I do is connect the ground power. And I come up here and I'll switch on the batteries. And we have ground power available, so I will use that. Now, some people choose to use the APU or the equivalent to the APU, and that is use the right engine to power up the plane. But I prefer just to use ground power. One, it's more better on the ecology or the environment. You don't have to sit here for 25 minutes with the exhaust fumes running out. And two, we're not using up our gas. We're not using up our fuel, you see. We're using ground power instead of their fuel. So I know it's not complicated. You can do it that way, but I tend to just use the ground power. Now, because everyone climbs up through the steps to board the plane, we do not have the jetway connected. So as you can see, we are quite a way away from the jetway or the terminal. So we can start our engines here at any time. Unlike the 737, where you have to disconnect and get all the pushback all the way past the line to start their engines, in the little ATR we can just start our engines straight up without any problems. Okay, so now that we're running on our ground power, let's have a look up here at our lights situation. We'll turn our beacon light on. That's probably all we need for now at this stage. Remember, this is not a tutorial. I'm just showing you how I do it the easy way. So we come down here. Now I'm going to do the flight plan, a very, very basic flight plan in the FMC or whatever you like to call it. Now this is our basic easy flight plan today. This is one I did in the flight menu and also in Navigraph, in Little Nav Map. So here are our waypoints, very few waypoints, just a few. Hugso, H-U-G-S-O, next one I-R-O-N-N, next one is H-O-K-N-U, the next one is H-N-C-H-E, T-H-A-C-H, over to Guppy, G-U-P-P-I, and then fumble, and then H-I-I-P, is that 2 I's or 1? H-I-I-P-R, and then straight into K-L-A-X. Now you can see we are going to do an ILS approach today. So our frequency for runway, we're going to runway 7 right, our frequency is 109.90, and our heading for the localizer is 71 degrees, okay, 71. So that's what we need to put in the railhead. Just a simple flight. Those are the waypoints. Take a screenshot or write them down if you wish. So that is what we're going to put into the FMC here. Very basic, very, very easy. So let's get started here. We'll do the position in it first. Position in it. We'll get that underway. And then we will do our flight plan. Route. Okay, so we are going from KPSP / to KLAX, KLAX, right, so we'll bang that into there, and we need a flight ID, so I'm just going to use, did that go into there? There it is, a flight ID. I'm going to use JI 1072, put that in there for our flight ID, and we're going to execute that. Now we're going to choose our departure and everything for KPSP, our runway. We're going out runway 31 left. Next page, 31 left, here it is over here, so we'll click on that. Execute KLAX, we're coming in on runway 7 right. 07 right, here it is here. We will click on that and execute. Now let's do our waypoints. Our first waypoint is Hugso, H-U-G-S-O, H-U-G-S-O, and I'm going to bung that in there where the discontinuity is. That gets rid of that. I might take times the up. Oh no, go back. Previous. Flight plan, what have I done? Okay, Hugso. I won't take times the up, it does funny things. So let's just put our next waypoint in place of the flight plan discontinuity. So IRONN, let's put that in there, and that pushes our discontinuity down. Our next one is HOKNU, HOKNU, so we'll put that in place of that discontinuity. It's not a terrible word to try and say, discontinuity. Try and say it several times in a row, you will probably stumble. Okay, our next one is HNCHE, HNCHE, and we'll bang that one in there. Okay, our page is full, so we go to the next page and let's continue. THACH, next one, THACH, so we'll pop that in there, execute, and then Guppy, G-U-P-P-I, G-U-P-P-I, we'll bang that one in there, execute, and then fumble, so we'll put fumble in for the next one, F-U-M-B-L-E, fumble, boom, that one's in there. And then we have fumble, and then we have H-I-I-P-R, H-I-I-P-R, so we'll pop that there. And then our next one is KLAX. Let's go to next page, and we're going to delete some of these. We'll clear these, clear that one, clear Timesy, we'll clear that one. Previous page, we should clear that discontinuity. And there we go, that's our waypoints done. So let's come over here. KPSP, there's our first waypoint, second, third, fourth, next page, fifth, sixth, 7, 8, and then straight into ILS 07 right. That is all done. That's as easy and as difficult as it gets for me, because like I said, I do things very, very easy and basic. Now if we come down here, we want to see this screen where our flight plan is. We can zoom in somehow. We can zoom in here. Now I think someone said we can click next on the FMC and it will take us through the waypoints. No, not quite. Where do we click? Click here. Okay, next. Next. No, it doesn't take us through the waypoints. I thought we could click here somewhere on the screen and it would take us through the waypoints. Let's try this one. Next. There we go. We're going through the waypoints. Hit next. Next. There we go. And we've got our loop around to come into runway 07 right. So you click on this side of the screen, click on this side of the screen, and then you hit next down here by the FMC, and that will step you through the waypoints. Thank you to the person who said that on their comments on my last video. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Now we can see all the doors and the cargo and the steps and everything has been closed and secure. And the boys are just waiting there for instructions on pushback. Thank you guys. We won't be too long. We won't keep you waiting too long at all. So let's just check that my throttle positions and everything are in the right place. That's down there. Yep. Okay. The gas lock is on and the brake is on. We're still running on ground power, of course, and our chocks are still in. Okay, so we're going to turn on our engine starts. Going to do our right engine first, so we'll turn that on. Fuel pump, I think that is, and then we'll turn on the right hand starter. Let's go outside and we'll see these beautiful big fans fire up. There we go. I love watching that. It never gets old. Now I do have the add-on scenery for Palm Springs because it is one of my major routes, my frequent and major routes for our airline. So I only install the airports that really that we use for our airline most of the time. So I'll bring our now we've seen that engine start up there. It's gone green. We can flip the propeller prop up to the feather there, up to that next click. That's where we'll put that one. And our engine should be underway well and good there, really firing up. Okay, so let's start up the next engine on the left. Start the next left button there. And we'll wait for this one to go green. There we go. The propeller should start to turn. There we go. Whoa, look out, guy, mate. You're going to get a haircut there. Don't stand any closer, will you? You might get a bit of a blow wave. Okay, so engines are good. Now for some reason my prop lever is not sort of configured properly, so when I take the prop up, we're supposed to take one up at a time as we start that engine, but for some reason mine are joined together, so I take them both up at the same time with one click, and that seems to work okay. So that's the way I'm doing it. Now I want to put this on navigation mode there, so we'll come down here and we'll click that and we'll be back onto our navigation mode. There we are, we can see our flight plan there. Now the next thing we need to do, of course, is put in our ILS frequency and heading. So that is what we will do next. We will come down here to this display here is where we're going to be working on. Now we need to come up here and we need to switch this around to FMC1. FMC1, is that where it is at the moment? Bit hard to see, isn't it, from this angle? Yep, ILS1, there it is. Switch that round to ILS1, and then we're going to put our ILS frequency into this display here. Okay, right, so we'll come down here. Our ILS frequency for 07 right at KLAX is 109.90. okay, 109.90. So we'll come down here and we'll put just a bit hard to read, isn't it? My old man eyes, I tell you, they're terrible. 10990. 109. Did I put the point in? I didn't put the point in. Okay, let's do it again. Right, 109 point, what is it, 90. Okay, I put the point in, put enter. Frequency, what's going on here? What is going on? Hit navigation. Okay, so let's hit the navigation button. Right, 109.90 and then enter. We should be here. 109, it should be on this one down below, the ILS. Okay, try again. 109.90. There we go. Hit it over to there, and it should go into the active. Okay. 109.90. Enter, and now switch it over to the active. There we go. Okay, so we click on that one, put in the ILS frequency, click enter, it goes into there, and then we click that and switch it over to the active. Okay, that is clear as mud, isn't it? It's as clear as mud, my instructions. Now we also need to do the heading. Okay, we need to put the heading number in, don't we? We need to put the heading in. Now to do this, it is going to go into this display here. A little bit hard to see. I hit Alter, click on that. Okay, it comes up on my second monitor, but it'll come up on your monitor. And we're going to go over here, and we're going to hit the course, and we're going to put our course in, which is, our course needs to be 71. Now here it is here, course down there. So let's wind this button. You seem to have to drag it. You click on it and drag it way over to the left to get it to turn. Okay, so we've got to drag it all the way over the left and watch this number here changing and going up. dragging it, 74, 71. There it is there. Okay, so we've got the ILS frequency into here, into the active 109.90. We've got the heading into there, 71. So what we're going to do is we come back and we're going to put this back into flight mode. Okay, take it off ILS 1, put it back into flight mode. Okay, we'll put it back into there later when we start to do our ILS approach. All right, so we've got that done. Now the other thing we can do while we are here is to set our altitude. So I'm going to hit Alt that again to bring up that display because of my old man eyes. We're going to set our altitude here, and I want my altitude at 7,000 feet. 7,000 feet initially. 7,500, that will be fine initially. We may go up to 10,000 feet. Okay, now our vertical speed, I want to set my vertical speed. I'm going to click my vertical speed. I'm going to set that up around the 1, just slightly over the 1, okay, for our vertical speed. Now also for departure we need to set our trim. Okay, so here's our flaps. We need to click our flaps down 1. There we go. Click flaps down 1. They will come down. Now here's our trim up here. I always set that on 3. Flight yoke. Remember, once your engines are all running, to turn on your gas lock, because that does control your flight surfaces. So I hadn't turned on my gas lock. So the gas lock is on, and I just played with my button. And I've got my trim set so that my nose is going up at 0.3. Okay, that's where I have my trim set. My nose is up 0.3 for my trim. Flaps down, all set. So we are ready for pushback. Engines are running. The flight plan is done. We can come up here and turn on our taxi lights, emergency lighting, exit signs all armed, seat belts on, no devices, strobe light can go on, navigation light, not 100% necessary, but I like it on. We'll put our landing lights on for departure a little bit later. Right, so we can disconnect from the land power, but first, before we disconnect land power, let's turn on our generators and our heat and our oxygen. Basically everything that's got the little sign off on it, the little off logo shining on it, you click on those and everything is on. Generators, everything on there. So basically everything that's got the little off sign on it, click all those and we should be all set to go. Generators and everything will be all running. We can now disconnect the ground power and we can organize and get our pushback underway. I hit Shift P for pushback, and here comes Harry on his little buggy. He is going to organize the pushback for us. He does a wonderful job. And as soon as he's connected up and underway, I will disconnect the brakes. Don't have far to taxi today. We're just heading down over there to runway 31 left. And when we depart, we'll be already heading in the right direction for to Los Angeles. There's the runway. Where is our runway? Over here. There is our runway over there. Right, now I might just have a bit of a scout around. Ah, yep. We'll go down to the left there. Try and take as much runway as we can. A common complaint with this at the beginning with this plane is that we don't have enough runway for a little wee nimble regional flight plane. Why does it need so much runway? But I found that doing it the way I seem to do it seems to work. I seem to get off the runway in plenty of time. Seems okay. Flaps down 1, trim set to 0.3. Hold down the brakes, wind up the throttle, feed of the fat. Hold it there, hold the brakes on for about 10 seconds or so, release the brakes and do a launch, and then around about 120, lift the nose up about 5 degrees, just very, very slightly, otherwise you'll hear that terrible sickening graunch of the metal on the runway as you get a tail strike. I tell you, it makes the hair on your back stand up. It's a terrible sound. You do not want that. Right, so we will just put our brakes on here at the hold short and go through our flow and our pre-takeoff check. Okay, engine's all stable. Flaps down 1, trim set to 0.3. Landing lights on. Navigation lights on. FMC flight plan in and set. Flight switch on TO for takeoff. We'll switch that round to climb once we have taken off. Control surface is working. Gas lock is off. All doors shut, secured and locked. And let's just check out this microphone, see if it's working, shall we? Good morning everybody and welcome aboard our ATR 72 service to Los Angeles this morning from Palm Springs. Thank you for choosing Jet and Airways. A little bit cloudy. We may get a good view of the wind farm and the mountains as we head over, but we're going to cruise at 7,500 feet initially. We may go up to 10. We'll see how the weather holds. But we should have you outside the terminals in Los Angeles in around about 30 minutes or so. I'll keep quiet most of the time. The flight attendants will serve you with some nice cookies or biscuits and snacks and a nice fresh cup of coffee or tea or a juice or a beverage of your choice. Thank you again for choosing Jet and Airways, and I'll talk to you a little bit later on in the flight. Well, there we go. The microphone works fine. Okay, I think we're all clear to head out onto the runway and depart. We'll just have a bit of a visual. Make sure it's all clear. A few planes parked up over there, but generally it's a pretty quiet day here at Palm Springs. I think that's the wind farm there, the starting of the wind farm. Just starts not far off the end of the runway. I'm going to leave this up here so I can see my speed very, very clearly as we head down the runway. So I know exactly what speed we're doing when I start to lift my nose up off the runway. Got to be so careful with this little beast. So careful. Right, so I'm going to stop here. Check, flaps down. Right, bring our throttles up. Waiting for about 10 seconds. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we release the brakes and we'll be away. Keep an eye on the speed. I want to be 120 before we pull back on the yoke. Nice and smooth and gentle. $104, 114, 120. Just a little bit. Pull back nice and slowly. There we go. Gear up. No tail strike, no dramas at all. Too easy. Now just hold it slightly up at 5 degrees, very, very slightly. 10 degrees, 5 degrees, let the speed come up, the altitude come up. Right, we'll come over here, turn on the yaw damper and the auto throttle. Vertical speed, we'll make sure the vertical speed is set about 1 or just slightly over. There's the wind farm down there, looking beautiful. And we'll put our flight switch here over to climb. I think that's on climb, is it? Can't see it very well. Yep, that is on climb. And we're turning to follow our waypoints. And it's goodbye to Palm Springs. See you later, guys. Now let's check out this wind farm. It is really stunning. It is amazing. There it is. Look at that. Hundreds of wind turbines down there. Just stunning. Look at them. They go on for miles. Just incredible. Anyway, we need to focus. We need to climb up a little bit too. I think we need to adjust our vertical speed so we go a bit higher, a bit faster, because we got some hills up ahead, and we're pretty much heading straight out towards Los Angeles now. Can see we are doing 167 knots, so we're slowly gaining speed, slowly gaining altitude here. If I bring this up a little bit, there we go. 3,900 and climbing. Got our vertical speeds 1.5, almost at 2. We're at 153 knots. We're not gaining a lot of speed, but we're at 150 knots, pretty steady. But we are gaining altitude. If we wanted to gain speed, we'll need to drop our vertical speed down a little bit. So if we click our vertical speed and just bring the vertical speed down slightly, there, and now you'll see we'll start to gain a little bit of speed slowly. But we are still gaining altitude, 5,200. That is a good thing. And we are following our waypoints there. Need to zoom out a little bit. There we go. There we are. We are on our way to Los Angeles. Altitude just over 5,000 feet now. Doing 156 knots. We'll gain quite a bit of speed when we level out. Just coming out of the Palm Springs Valley now. Beautiful view of the mountain range as we climb out of the valley. Okay, flaps up. Flaps up. Very nice. Following our plan at 7,000 feet, so we're almost at our cruise altitude for now, our initial cruise altitude. We're at 175 knots, so our speed is all good. And I can tune our switch over to cruise mode. There we go. Landing lights can go off, taxi lights off. So, Los Angeles, here we come. And we're going to try and do an ILS approach today. I say try, there's a few times I've done beautiful ILS approaches in this plane, there's a few times I've mucked it up. All else fails, we'll do a beautiful visual manual landing. But I'm hoping that everything works properly, and I've done everything properly. We have tuned the ILS frequency into the radios down here. And over here we have put the right heading for the localizer, the bearing there. And when we head around towards our final approach, we'll flick this switch over to ILS 1, and that should engage our ILS. And then we'll hit approach hold, and hopefully things will go swimmingly well. We're hoping. So we're at 7,500 feet. We're at 227 knots. little bit of cloud around, but not too bad. Can get some nice scenery today. Okay, so we have dropped down now to 1,000 feet. We're quite low. We're on our last sort of turnaround towards Guppy, and then we'll be coming in for our final approach. So we are down to around 1,000 feet. Our speed is 153 knots. So as soon as we get close to this point here, we're going to be switching on our ILS frequency mode. And then we'll be hitting the approach hold. Now you can see we've got some diamonds here. We've got a diamond here and a diamond here. And we're going to wait for that to move down a little bit, and I'm going to hit approach hold. We're down to 120. We're going to put our flaps down 2. Going to bring down our gear, and I'm now going to engage approach hold. You can see roll hold has lit up here, and there's the runway straight ahead. So we've got a good visual on the runway. We've got a diamond in the middle here and a diamond coming down here to be in the middle. We have our flaps down 2. Flaps down 2, gear is down, and we are approaching the runway now. Our speed is 100. We need to bring that up a little bit, bring our speed up a little bit. We want to be up around 110, 115. So we need to just lift our speed a little bit here. Right, so I have the plane. I have turned off the autopilot. It didn't appear to me to be locked on. I had the diamonds. I can follow the diamonds manually. But when I hit approach hold,
500.
When I hit approach hold, it didn't really seem to be locked on. But I don't think that's anything to do with the plane. I think that is something to do with something that I didn't quite do right. But we did follow the flight plan. We had our diamonds, and we were doing an ILS approach. No problem at all there.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Didn't do a full ILS approach and landing, but we did do an ILS approach. Didn't seem to get that lock-on button done, but we'd had our diamonds there. Whoa, some exciting things going on at the moment. Got multiplayer mode turned on, so you see all sorts of weird and wonderful things. Hope you enjoyed that video. I will do it again. I'll keep flying this plane, and I will be able to do a beautiful, smooth ILS approach and landing. I'll continue to show you how I am enjoying this plane and flying it from A to B the most simplest and easiest way I can, and I'm finding it very enjoyable. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like, make a comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers.